Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bow and Arrow Tarot and today's pick a card reading. What's next in love for you? So, today we take a look at what might be coming in, whether it's a person or a new relationship, or perhaps it's a special event. We take a look at how this may come into your life, timing, and what Spirit has to say about it. Remember, the messages are timeless and they find you whenever you're ready to receive them. So, sit back and relax and allow yourself to be drawn to the pile that calls to you the most. Pile 1, 2, or 3. And when you're ready, timestamps are below. So let's get started with pile number 1. Pile number 1, let's get right into it. What's coming in next for you in love? The Pilgrim. So you have a person coming in for you. How does this person come in with Mars in Capricorn energy? A sense of authority. Interesting. What stage on the Fool's Path are you in love? The Chariot. So you're starting a whole new chapter. A new chapter is coming in with this individual. What does Spirit have to say? Cultivation. I love that. It's going to take some time, right? So let's get into the rest of your reading. All right, so let's get into the rest of your reading. Page of Swords, Knight of Cups, Hangman energy, Knight of Wands, a lot of Knight energy coming in, and we have a King of Cups. Interesting. At the bottom of the deck comes in a Seven of Cups. So, wow, a lot of options, right? Seven of Cups energy. At the heart of all of this coming in for you in this next stage is options. A feeling that there are a lot of options and opportunities coming in. It's almost like kid in a candy store, right? Anything is possible. So it's a beautiful energy, but oftentimes you want to make sure to remain realistic, right? Because it can be kind of that genie in a bottle energy. Be careful what you wish for. But this is a nice reading because it talks about a development. You have Pilgrim coming in with that Mars authority chariot energy. So it feels right away like the next stage in love for you is this person who's coming in. Pilgrim energy is all about somebody who is a bit of a wanderer. A pilgrim is a seeker, right? We see that eye there, always seeking either a deeper level of love, a higher level of knowledge, experience. At heart, this is someone generally who is willing to move, willing to travel, willing to relocate, willing to keep going, willing to also say goodbye to start a whole new journey, right? So that's part and parcel of their energy. However, they do come into you with that Mars and Capricorn, a real sense of authority and ambition. And you yourself, this next stage for you is all about starting a new chapter. So let's go a little bit further and see what these energies have. Page of Swords and Knight of Cups. So there is a sense of a newness here, a beginning, but also a sense of new confidence coming in. So this pilgrim is someone who is very much swept up by you. And they're going to be coming in sort of actively pursuing you. You may have already met this person, right? They may already have had conversations with you, but their form of flirting is going to be quite interesting. They may indeed seem quite shy around you, even though they're actively pursuing you. They surely are the ones coming towards you. They have a desire for you with that Knight of Cups energy. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of clarity as we move on. Now, we know that you're entering a whole new chapter with that Chariot. But there's also a feeling here for you of a new kind of adventure almost coming in with that Knight of Wands here as well, the Hangman. It may seem that a new chapter is kind of what is needed right now in love. There feels like there has been kind of a period of stagnation perhaps, or being stuck, being a bit bored. So let's see. Two of Wands, Page of Cups, that's that beginning Tower moment, and an Eight of Wands. I love that because, yes, there is a real desire to sort of move forward kind of rapidly, but you have a lot of page energy. So this is kind of one of those textbook, you meet this person and you guys kind of fall for each other. And it starts off kind of slow, but very quick, not slow, but starts off very predictable, sort of like tentative, just a little bit of confidence. Your person is the one who's very much going to be coming into you, right? But the two of you are there for it, Page of Cups. However, there is a moment that comes in where there is a bit of a tower moment that happens. Hangman energy is there. There may be some issues, some past energy that comes in. You may have previous lover relationship energy, I feel like, coming in, because ahead here we have that King of Cups. So while you're starting this new chapter in love with that Chariot, I love that. That is like laying the groundwork right now. So oftentimes that energy is very much like you haven't started quite yet. You're kind of laying the groundwork for a whole new long chapter in love for you. And it feels like it may indeed be another relationship. And it begins like this with this person who comes in. Again, you start off with conventional type of being pursued, very kind of shy in the beginning, but very quickly wanting to sort of move ahead. Two of Wands, very fiery energy. Mars in Aries energy. So very, very fiery, but it does start like it gets very heavy right away with that tower moment. But again, you're kind of laying the foundation. You haven't quite started the relationship yet, but this is the unfolding of the next stage. Now, this tower moment that comes in indeed feels very much like you are in, like, sort of catching the attention of a previous lover that was a King of Cups in your life, someone who was like a serious lover. You hear the airplane going ahead above. Take that for what it means to you. Sometimes sounds can really be your own personal omens and totems. But there is a lot of upheaval that happens. I think it's because it's very obvious, perhaps, to your ex lover or your friend circle that this new thing is unfolding. And it will be, if it hasn't started yet, or you, depending on where you are, where this message is finding you in your timeline, if you're resonating with this. But at some point the news sort of gets out, right? And then it ends up that your King of Cups sort of comes back and it's like there's a whole upheaval, there's a whole like truth that comes out, there's a bit of a change that happens between you and a few other people and your relationships with them as a result of all of this. Oftentimes, the tower moment is when some truth comes out, right? And things that you really thought you knew, you realize you didn't. A tower moment can be like, wow, finding out like, wow, I never knew who you were, or finding out somebody that you've known for a long time, be they a friend or a lover or what have you, you suddenly come across information, you realize there's some huge things about this person that you never knew or that you got plainly wrong, or there is a certain understanding about a certain outlook in your life that you suddenly realize is completely different than what you thought it was. So it can be very jarring, and that's what it feels like. There is something that happens as a result of coming to in connection with this new person, this pilgrim, this traveler, right? Very knowledgeable, an authority figure, definitely, who comes in with a lot of respect, I want to say, and a sense of this person is like a sense of they know what they're doing, they have a career, a profession, all of that. But as a result of this, there is something that happens that kind of provides you with new information, a whole new outlook. It kind of breaks you out of some stale thinking, though. It kind of really shakes you up and allows you to move on and grow. And that's exactly what happens. Knight of Wands comes in beautiful with that Eight of Wands. A lot of fire, a lot of change, a lot of forward momentum and communication. Eight of Wands is Mercury and Sagittarian energy. You may even have that in your chart, right? So depending on where your chart is, if some of you who know what your natal chart is, but this is very strong communicative energy, fiery energy. It's like understanding a lot. It's suddenly like any blockages that you had in momentum and communication are lifted. And this can often happen after one of these tower moments. So it's a real shakeup for you, this next stage, but it's beautiful. What does Spirit say? Spirit says it's all about cultivation, and it is all about cultivation, right? You are kind of, the next stage in love for you is this beautiful kind of beginning stage, right? With someone where there is a lot of shakeup that goes on, but a lot of that shakeup is sort of part of getting rid of the old, that tower moment, and getting rid of some of leftover old energy, perhaps also reconfiguring relationships with certain people now that there's a change in the air, and like cultivating what you want to grow for the future. So putting all of that energy in properly now is the way to go, so that the next stage in this chapter is a beautiful stage, right? And it's been given everything it needs to grow properly. That's what we mean by cultivation. Now, I just want to be clear with you that Mars and Capricorn energy, your person may have that in their chart, they may not. It's an oracle energy that talks about someone who's very, very industrious and capable and knowledgeable. This person is going to be someone who makes money, someone who works very hard, someone who may be even a bit of a workaholic. And something about this energy or characteristic of this person is what is going to facilitate how they come into your life. So watch out for that connection. It may be through a job or some kind of connection like that, or some kind of consultancy, right? Something like that, maybe for some of you. In any case, this person is going to represent certainly someone of a lot of authority, respect, and knowledge and experience in some areas. So, spirits of darkness and light. Spider spirit is all about destiny. That's what I'm talking about. There is a feeling of destiny here. Spirit of the lighthouse and spirit of the crow. Beautiful. Now, I want to come to the spirit of the crow first. There is a little bit of that melancholy because, as I said, for some of you, really feel strong that this stage, the message is that this stage may induce a little bit of melancholy in you because you're kind of getting rid of the last bits of a previous sort of healing and cleansing, the last lingering bits of a previous relationship as you lay the groundwork for this beautiful new one that is starting in this really healthy way. Spirit of the lighthouse, returning home, longing, guiding light, right? And spider spirit, fate, destiny, and free will is there. So I really, really love that for you. So let's go ahead and pull out the actual zodiac cards now, just to see what kind of zodiac signs you might be dealing with, who this person may be. This may also just reaffirm some of the zodiac energy in your chart, right? Depending on where that is. So we have, for some of you, that Cancerian energy. What else? We have the Virgo and we have Capricorn. There's that Earth. We saw Mars and Capricorn here. Capricorn showing up. Absolutely, some of you dealing with a Capricorn. Absolutely, right? Virgo, more Earth, and Cancer, that strong water energy. All right, everyone, thank you so much. This is the end of the message I have for you for pile one. If it resonated for you, please leave us a message in the comment section for the collective. Go ahead and hit the like button, which I love. That lets me know that you're getting something out of these readings. And if you want to stay with me, we're going to move right on along to pile number two. Pile two, let's get right into your reading. What's coming in next? The Hunter. In love, you have someone coming in. Someone who resonates with that energy. How do they come into you? You have Mars and Gemini energy. So they're going to be taking decisive action. It'll be their action. Where are you at in love right now? The Hermit. So you're on at the Hermit stage right now in love, on a fool's journey, really keeping to yourself for the most part. And Spirit says it's all about being receptive. All right, so this is an interesting reading. So the next stage in love for you is an individual who comes in for you. So let's get you the rest of your reading out. Four of Pentacles, Two of Swords, a decision. Nine of Cups, a wish fulfillment. Knight of Pentacles, devotion, and the Hierophant. Wow. And at the bottom of the deck, we have 10 of Wands. So the end of a stage, a period of your life, I think, where you may have been carrying a lot, especially in love. 10 of Wands at the bottom just indicates that at the root of all of this, it's just the end of a stage where you've really bared the brunt, perhaps, of a lot of burdens, responsibilities, or obligations, right? Just things you took on yourself, especially in the area of love that you just don't need to, that you didn't need to, or you realize now you don't need to anymore. You know, you're done. You feel a little bit lighter. This is really the result of that hermit energy that you're at right now. So we pulled out to see what stage of the fool's journey your love life is at right now. And you've probably been really resonating with a deep sense of being to yourself, you know, working on yourself. When we talk about your love life, there are stages where part of having a healthy love life is loving yourself, taking care of yourself, right? Being to yourself, you know, reserving your energy, increasing your well of energy, right? Just doing good things for yourself and keeping your energy to yourself so that you can maintain a sort of high level of resonance, right? A high vibration without having your energy sort of given away. So it's a state of solitude and repose, you know, of getting into yourself more spiritually. And that's kind of where you've been at. So it's not to say that you haven't been open to love, but oftentimes when we get into that hermit energy, it's a very powerful place to be. And it's a place of solitude, not loneliness, but solitude. And solitude and the joy of solitude in that time is very powerful, if you're used to that or if that's something you practice. For some people, it can be quite frightening. But for you, I feel like it's been very powerful. But what comes in for you, the next stage in love, is a hunter. So this person is very actionary, very fiery, right? They go after what they want. And not only does the hunter have a very sort of alpha, sort of active masculine energy by nature, although a lot of animals, animals, of course, hunt as well. But we're just talking about that kind of forward desire, that alpha energy, you know, in terms of going out into the universe and taking what you want sort of energy, right? Part of the hunter is also someone who's very intelligent, you know, just a masterful strategist. They pay attention to a lot of things. Oftentimes, this is someone who feels like they pursue things, right? If they have a sense of drive, they have a sense of wanting to get what they want, right? And figuring out ways to get that. Now, it can feel nice almost to be the object of someone's sort of desire like that, especially when they resonate with the hunter, because they're going to pay attention to a lot of parts and sides of you so they can get to you. And that can feel really nice. That can feel like someone is truly paying attention to you. And that is a level of intimacy. So this person comes in and that energy that they bring is quite strong. Mars and Gemini, they're all over the place. And I think that Spirit says you need to be receptive about it because you are in this place, this strong position of solitude right now, to yourself energy right now, where the power is very much within you to either say, okay, I'll open up and let you in or not. It doesn't really matter how decisive or energetic or ambitious anyone is, including a hunter. Hermit energy is that powerful place where you're really in control. If you want someone to come in, you allow them in. Otherwise, they can't come in. And so they make a decision. It's also about you deciding to be receptive. So let's go ahead to the rest of your reading because it's quite interesting that all of this is happening at the end of this stage for you. You do have Four of Pentacles and Two of Swords. Two of Swords is also about making a decision. Oftentimes it's like, what do I do? You can see there, she's like, well, which one do I pick? Which one do I get rid of first? Which one do I fight first? It indicates, the nature of a very, very difficult decision, rock in a hard place, that feeling of like really not having any option that's better than another. Four of Pentacles is there too, wanting to maintain your stability and still kind of not being sure. Again, a decision. And decision is here too. Mars and Gemini, Two of Swords energy is very much same energy, right? Um, it's trying to figure out which way to go. And I think that you share that with this person. The two of you, there is something there between the two of you. They are coming from a different place. We're going to get clarifiers. Their reason for indecision, we're going to figure out. Your reason for indecision is that you've enjoyed your own company for quite some time, right? Nine of Cups is there and Knight of Pentacles is there. However, there is a feeling that this person is not going to give up. The Knight of Pentacles connected with the Hunter energy. Knight of Pentacles is someone who they may take some time to get what they want, but they will not give up until they get it. The Knight of Pentacles is, in fact, the slowest knight in the deck, but he always gets what he wants because he just keeps going. It just doesn't matter, right? And so it's a sense of devotion, commitment, right? And Nine of Cups, bliss and wish fulfillment. So I think ultimately this comes out quite nicely. But let's see. Tower moment. Wow. A hangman energy. Yeah, you don't want to come out of that space you're at. You're very, very comfortable. Ten of Wands again. Interesting. And a Nine of Swords. Some anxiety is there. So this is interesting, pile two, because right away, let's talk about this decision. It's a difficult decision for you because you don't want to change what you've been doing. You really don't want to change the life you've been living, the way you've been looking at the world. Hangman, oftentimes people will say it's being stuck, but it's a choice. You're choosing and you've grown quite comfortable in this position. It may indeed not be the most comfortable position for most people, or I dare say in the beginning for you, but you've just gotten so used to it. And so, yeah, this is all about really breaking out of a habit, I think, for you, especially with that Hermit energy again. You get used to that sort of solitary time. So for you, there is a little bit of like, will I open up? Won't I? However, there's a tower moment that happens, and it's all about sort of stability, maintaining your stability. There's some information or event that happens that really shakes everything up. I think this is the event that ultimately brings your hunter into your life, right? And yeah, it may even involve you being able to maintain your solitary existence in some way, somehow may be threatened. Maybe the way you live, where you live, right? Your job, etc. Something about your situation in that way, your stability in that way is not so much, I say threatened, but sort of there's a feeling of angst and anxiety perhaps that comes in. Nine of Swords, there is angst and anxiety there about what is going to happen next, right? There's a sense of insecurity. Some kind of event has happened that makes it feel like it may be unstable. And through this, is how this connection comes in for you for the next stage in love with this person. And so you find yourself in a difficult place because your decision, yes, you find yourself finding it too difficult to make certain decisions because there are too many things on your plate right now. It may be, you're trying to decide the stability of your livelihood, home, perhaps where you live, as I said, as well as deciding how much you're going to let this person suddenly into your life, how much you're willing to open up your life. Really, it's a moment, right? And so in order to get your happiness, you are being kind of called to stand back, sit back, and really think from a position of strategy. Think about the strategy of what really is the wisest thing to do. Four of Swords energy is really about taking your time. Another four. You had that Four of Pentacles earlier and another four. It's about you really taking your time to maintain your stability over this next period, because this next stage in love is also coinciding with a shift in your life in terms of how you're living, your environment, right? And you're maybe shifting out of this very hermited life, lifestyle, existence, etc., however it is, right? Now, you also have this Ten of Wands that comes in again over that Knight of Pentacles. So, again, kind of waking up to the end. It feels as though, like, you were in a bit of a self imposed, solitary life or self-imposed kind of chapter of life that was difficult, but you kind of, had to deal with it, bared it. You may have had to deal with responsibilities that weren't yours, but you took them on because it was the right thing to do, right? For some of you, it may have even involved family, things like that. Nevertheless, that Knight of Pentacles, that doggedness, that determination of you and this hunter to come into your life is kind of what really brings you out of all of this. So this next stage in love for you is very significant. And that's why Spirit says it's really about you being receptive. Yes, you have a choice, but this event is coming. This shakeup is coming, and Tower happens out of your hands. The tower moments have nothing to do with your choosing them. That's divine intervention that oftentimes will come in to shake things up because it's needed. Right. And so Mars and Gemini, there is a real decision sort of in terms of deciding what is the right step, what is the next step to do, what is the next step to make. There's going to be, the tower moments sometimes be very heavy, and decisions have to be made very quickly. And I think that applies to your hunter who's coming in, and also to you. Now, your final energy here in the end is Hierophant and Nine of Swords. There is still some anxiety that will be there in terms of you, I think, really just shifting your outlook, right? Shifting your outlook on life. Hierophant is kind of there. There is someone in your life who is perhaps a guide, or not a guide, but someone who you really respect, who you can go to for counsel and sort of just, sort of help to talk with. Someone you respect, though, who's on your level, that you can share what you're going through, who's going to give you a really good feedback for it, that is good in terms of keeping you in alignment, right? That Hierophant energy is that spiritual teacher, So our spiritual teachers can be our friends, They can be, they don't have to be a spiritual teacher. They're people in our lives who act as our spiritual guides and teachers, and you know who they are. And there is someone in your life who's there for you through this anxiety. There is an anxious moment in this next stage in love for you, because it's kind of wrapped up also in a shifting stage of your life as well. So if you resonate with this, please let me know in the comments. I am very curious if you're going through this particular situation. It is complex, right? Spirit of darkness and light, spirit of armor, there's your defense and tactical. Spirit of gargoyle, guardian, protector, more protection, and spirit of the heart, soul essence and vibration. So yeah, see all of this, I'm going to pull them both up at the same time, spirit of armor and spirit of the gargoyle, they're both basically the same thing, defensive, protectionary, guarded, right? Guarded, guardian, intimidation, tactical. This is like that energy is there of being very, very guarded. I think that is on your part, but your hunter is kind of coming in like, gangbusters, because that's the hunter. And what else comes in? That beautiful spirit of the heart, identity. That beautiful spirit of the heart, identity, vibration, soul essence. So we love that, right? That is beautiful, beautiful energy. Let's go ahead and pull out the zodiac signs you might be resonating with, or this person in your connection. Whoever is playing a part in this next stage may be a Virgo. That's interesting. A Pisces or an Aquarius. Wow. Okay, there you have it. So, Earth, water, and air. So you may have that in your chart. Your person may. People who are connected to you in this next stage may have that in their charts. And this is the message I have for you today. I hope it resonated. If it did, go ahead and hit the like button, which I always appreciate. It allows me to know that you're getting something out of these readings. Go ahead and leave a message in the comment section. And that is the end of pile 2. Now, if you are ready and willing, you want to stay with me, we're going to get started with pile number 3. Pile number 3, let's get right into what's coming in love for you, the lover. Wow, nice archetype. How does this person come in? With a Mars and Leo energy, a lot of showy energy. What stage in love are you at? You're in a judgment stage. This is a call to action, the call to letting go. And Spirit says it's all about finding peace. So this is an interesting, beautiful change, a shift in love. Let's go ahead and get your rest of your reading out. The Moon, Page of Wands, fearlessness, full energy, wow. Four of Pentacles, and the Hermit at the bottom of the deck is a 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles energy is all about a legacy, building a legacy, health, wealth, and happiness sort of energy. Right at the beginning, though, with that moon, we do see a little bit of hesitance, a little bit of uncertainty. But yeah, your next stage in love is someone who comes in with lover energy. And they come in also with a lot of, bombastic energy. They may be somebody who is quite the center of attention, right? They dress nice. They dress nice. They act sort of. They may have quite a flair, right? Quite an artistic flair. They may even desire to be the center of attention sometimes, but for good reason. And yet, also, this next stage is a stage for you to sort of let go. Judgment is all about letting go. It's a call to sort of rise up, let go of the past, let go of anything that's been holding you back, and begin to sort of make the choice to move ahead, right? Will you let go of the judgments of the past and of yourself and move ahead free and light and sort of reborn, or sort of stay? And Spirit says that this is about finding your peace. Now, the lover, let's talk about this person. The lover, this is someone who loves the intimacy, the connection. The lover is someone who resonates with this as an archetype. It isn't just that they are your lover or want to be your lover. They are a lover at heart, not a fighter. You ever meet somebody and you say, oh, that person is definitely a lover, not a fighter. This is someone who's always sort of got that vibe and that energy of closeness, of wanting to be close. They're always quite affectionate. They always have this sense of attraction and love for people and things around them. And yeah, as I say, I think we've all probably met that type of person, but you know exactly what I mean when I say that, a lover rather than a fighter, somebody who really, really resonates with that nice kind of closeness energy. Now, that can be a challenge, especially with that Mars and Leo, because Mars and Leo people like a lot of attention. So this person may even come off a little bit of like a player. They may come off as a little bit, enjoying the attention too much, craving the attention, playing to it, right? Demanding it even. And so judgment comes in because this is quite interesting that you yourself are kind of being called to either, to let go of whatever's been holding you back. We're going to get more clarifiers and move ahead for the sake of your peace. So let's see how this plays in. Moon energy and Page of Wands. This is kind of, these two energies, there's a feeling here of being very unsure, right? There she is. Very unsure, uncertain. The moon is a very sensitive energy. You can just feel like you're being tested. Oftentimes it can feel like you're being brought to your emotional limits, right? That's just that moon energy. And it can cause a little bit of anxiety and fear also, dealing with those types of emotions and feelings, dealing with areas that are quite unknown, uncertain of what the outcome might be. And yet, that Page of Wands is pure fearlessness. And so I think that this lover who comes in for you really presents this kind of energy for you. Like there is this person, when you pair the two together, lover and this Mars and Leo type of energy, they probably are quite daunting, and somewhat overwhelming. And as I say, they really do come off as a real suave player type of energy. So it can feel quite unknown, quite uncertain. It can feel raw and vulnerable to allow yourself to get involved. And yet, that fearlessness is there. And Fool, that leap of faith, there is a real feeling here of wanting to have a leap of faith with this person and just sort of go for it and let go, right? So let us go ahead. Oops, a lot of cards are jumping out. Let us go ahead and get your clarifiers before we move on. Yes, this is a feeling that this is a very different kind of connection, perhaps, or perhaps an uncertain one, just because of that heavy energy they come in with. Nine of Pentacles, more moon energy. Nine of Cups, more nine energy. Wow, Queen of Cups, and over that Hermit, which is also a nine, King of Pentacles. Very interesting energy. So twice the moon's coming out. So for some of you, there may even be strong sort of Piscean energy in your chart. Moon is the card for Pisces and tarot. You may have strong Piscean energy. There may be strong, deep sort of emotional connections with this person. You may even feel like you have a spiritual connection with them. That's Moon can bring that about. That can also be one of the reasons why there's an uncertainty here. There's a feeling of exhilaration here with this. I feel it. Like you feel exhilarated around this person, and like allowing yourself to get connected to them does feel like allowing yourself to fall into something, but I think you're there for it, right? Nine of Pentacles, there's a feeling here of being quite happy on your own. This has nothing, there's nothing here to do with any financial discrepancy or need or give and take or anything. I think you're dealing with somebody who also, you do well financially, they do well financially. And so, you don't need, this is purely of the heart. There is no need whatsoever or support in that way. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you get into connections and relationships with people, and they can come out of some physical need that needed to be fulfilled, whether that be some event or do you know what I mean? There may be, but in this case, there isn't anything like that. There's no work connection like that per se, or some reason why the two of you need to be in each other's space. So this really happens very, very organically, like very much just based purely on feelings and emotions and desires. And it's a nice feeling also that the two of you are doing quite well financially, so that is not a burden. And so I feel like not only are you being called to let go, but the Fool is letting you know, yeah, take a leap of faith, have some fun. Nine of Cups is fun, enjoying yourself. That's what it feels like. It feels like the next stage in love for you is all about fun, enjoying yourself, being with somebody who is a lot of fun to be around. Right? That's what it feels like here. It's exhilarating. Definitely with that energy of the lover and that strong Leo coming in. Yes, it's an adventure, and it does feel like, you know, that fear here, a little bit of like, okay, am I getting, am I going to get my heart broken, or am I going to, I don't know. There may be some emotional fear there, but it's about also, if you know who they are, you know what you're getting into, you have the right communication, and you also don't require, you have your own sense of confidence and stability. As I say, you have your own money, so that's not an issue. Then there's no need for you to sort of fall into those insecurities. Queen of Cups over that Four of Pentacles, maintaining that stability comes in towards the end there, right? So it's interesting that as we talk about you having very much your stability, It feels to me like maintaining your stability with that Queen of Cups. So this is to say, not changing so much about your lifestyle. So for instance, an example is moving in right away, or your connecting your money somehow right away. Even if the two of you have money, whenever you begin to entangle like that, it there's a shift then to your own stability on your own, right? And if anything changes, it can take a while to get back to your own level of stability. It's just the nature of things. And so this energy here with that Queen of Cups, Four of Pentacles, is really saying that remember to maintain your own sense of peace, as Spirit says. Do not compromise your own stability, your own garden, your own sense of peace for this new adventure where you're willing to leap and really have some fun. Yes, absolutely have some fun. You may be very sympathetic to this new lover and lover archetype energy person is coming in. This Queen of Cups, you may resonate on a deeply emotional, romantic level and want to drown in that, but maintain your own physical stability. Keep your own place, keep your own money, right? Don't tie in too much like that. Sometimes people do that too soon, and it really dilutes and shifts the energy of the relationship very quickly. And before you know it, you've lost kind of what you've had, and the dynamics have shifted. Oftentimes, the main reason that happens is when people too quickly tie their own separate physical lives together, so that the responsibilities are now cross shared, and it gets foggy and it changes the vibe. So take care for that. Spirit King of Pentacles comes in though over that Hermit. So another 9 card, again maintaining that's the individuality, that singularity, right? Autonomy, singularity, maintaining that own almost kind of shell of energy around you, so you have your own grounded space. Ultimately, you have a Queen of Cups and King of Pentacles. This may indeed be your lover and how they resonate and when they come in. Maintaining your own space and not allowing yourself, that Hermit is reminding you to maintain that's your own protected space, right? King of Pentacles is there. I do feel like this could be your lover who kind of manifests that energy. That this particular king likes to have things, likes to own things, likes to be in charge of everything that's around him, and so there may be a little bit of an energy here of this person wanting, at some stage, wanting to get deeper, deeper, deeper. It is the nature of that lover archetype. It is the nature of this energy that the two of you already have with each other, the exhilaration that's here. It does feel very faded, and it does feel like this is at least a twin flame connection, in as much as the two of your essences match very, very well. But you will have to sort of put effort into maintaining your own strength, solitude, and autonomy, if you want to maintain that excitement and exhilaration, and want to maintain that sort of that level of energy exchange, right? You know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, you resonate with this, leave me a comment in the comments section. Spirits of darkness and light. Spider spirit. What did I say? It feels destined and fated. That's the spider spirit. Spirit of the lighthouse, returning, belonging, and spirit of the pentacle, wholeness. So as I said, there was a fated destiny sense here, and spider spirit says that indeed that spirit is at play, but also free will. So it's how you make your decisions in this space. Spirit of the lighthouse, returning, the guiding light. Yeah. That's what it feels like. And we have spirit of the pentacle, faith, unity, wholeness. Right. So this is important, right? Wholeness and unity, faith. Oftentimes, faith, unity, wholeness within your own space as well. That's strong part of the message here. Maintain your own autonomy, because this is a real whirlwind, energetic connection that's happening here, right? And in those spaces, yeah, it's if you want to maintain that excited, fresh energy, you have to maintain your autonomy through that space, and don't give into the desire to want to, like, sometimes that desire to want to be around each other all the time, 24/7, move in together, live together, work together. Oftentimes that's a mistake. Cancer is there. Yeah, and that oftentimes is what shifts the energy, and you lose that. It's Cancer, Scorpio. What else do we have? And Virgo. So definitely some of you dealing with a lot of that water energy. That makes a whole lot of sense. That really tracks with the vibe of this reading. And this is it. Thank you so much for watching this pick a card. What's next in love for you? If you got something out of it, please let me know. Hit the like button, leave us a comment below. But for right now, I will just say thank you for coming here to Bow and Arrow Tarot, and I wish you all love, life, and happiness. Bye bye, everyone.